Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Well, Enterprise Ireland-backed company Graphite-Note is targeting international expansion with its no-code machine learning platform. Co-founder of Graphite-Note, Vinnie Lynch, joins us now to outline the service offering and where the opportunity exists for further growth. But Vinnie, what problem were you trying to solve when you established Graphite-Note?
Yeah, so Graphite-Note really evolved out of, a need in the industry where my co-founder, Karl Fitzpatrick from Croatia, he's a data scientist by trade, and in order for companies to be able to access what we call predictive analytics, which is essentially a form of data science, and they needed to hire in a data scientist or a data science team in order to take historical data and to be able to build machine learning models that would allow them to see predictions of what's going to happen in the future. And that can be quite useful when you're trying to plan different business use cases. It could be trying to plan demand for stock in your shop. It could be trying to predict sales or predict customers that may leave you, etc. So our logic when we set this up was that kind of experience was limited to companies who could afford data scientists or who could actually find them, because there's over 250,000 data scientist roles open at the moment in the world, and people just can't find data scientists. So we built a no-code platform that allows companies to access the power of data science without having to hire a data scientist.
So are you currently operating in a space which is flooded with AI products and platforms?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So since the ChatGPT revolution at the end of 2022, a lot of companies have spent the last 18 months really, I suppose, being flooded by new tools and angles, if you like, that they could use to help them grow their business. But what we have seen in the last 6 months is that companies have gone from experimenting and trying things to now coming to a case where they're saying, okay, what is our AI transformation strategy and what are the tools that we can use to make an impact? And really where we fall into play is that our tool allows people to get up and running with just a few clicks and to start seeing insights into their data that they wouldn't have seen before. So it's designed for non-technical users, but to give them tailored insights into their own data, as opposed to generic insights from, say, asking ChatGPT, can you help me understand how to grow my business? I'm an online jewelry business. What our models will do is they'll say, I'm an online jewelry business. This is my historical data. And based on my data, can you guide as to what I need to do?
And are there particular sectors in which the desire to build machine learning models is significant?
There are. I guess the application can be used in every function in every industry. And, for background, I read recently the CEO of ServiceNow, a very large information technology business in the US, said that over the next 24 months, every process in every function and every business will be disrupted by AI. So when you look at it from that perspective, the first thing is the train has left the station. If you don't have an AI strategy, you need to start getting on board with implementing one, because your competitors and your peers are going to be getting ahead of you if they haven't already. So that's the first thing. This is a real transformational moment in time where you will be left behind pretty quickly. So that's the first thing. So against that background, every function in every business, it can apply. Where we've seen some really quick wins and big impacts in the world of e-commerce, retail, in the world of digital ad agencies, where companies could be spending 30, 40, 50,000 a month on ads, which, is incredible when you think about it. But by using AI models and being able to reduce ad spend by 10, 15, 20% pretty quickly in the first few months, things like that are really compelling. So application everywhere, but very quick wins in e-commerce, retail, digital ads. And then in terms of the areas that we target, we're very focused on data analytics agencies who have clients that they are building insights for, and really trying to help those clients get ahead by giving them new growth gains or marginal gains based on their historical data. So we have a set of tools that those analysts or agencies can just plug into and grab some really meaningful benefit in a really short space of time.
So provide us with an insight into the technology which underpins the company's offering.
we've built 10 machine learning models. And these models are data agnostic. And so you build the models in Python. That's the code that's used to build machine learning models. And then what we've done is we've taken the most common algorithms that sit behind each of those models, and we've productized the platform so that when you plug in your data, you're not restricted to one algorithm. 10 algorithms will run on a model, and it will select the algorithm with the best result. And what that means is, as a technical person, you look at that and you go, how can I trust the predictions that are being made? There has to be some sort of confidence from the data or from the model score. So we're able to show very openly whether the model score is good. And if the model score isn't good, the model is objective. It's data agnostic. It doesn't care where the data is coming from. So it'll tell you whether the model is strong or not strong. And that's a great relief and I guess validation for people who are saying, can I trust the machine learning models that are being produced? The answer is the model will tell you if you can trust it or not. And we see that all the time. Regularly a customer will say, I've got a poor score model. And we'd say, well, do you want us to have a look at your data with you? Because it looks like your data is not fit for the model, or there's something missing, or there's something not quite stacking up. And that then helps them maybe to enrich their data or to reorganize their data to be more fit for the model.
Is one of the challenges then that you face the fact that maybe some clients don't have access to good quality data?
It is. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll give you an example. Company with 10,000 rows of historical sales data where they have data that says that lead converted to a customer, yes or no. If they have even 3, 4, 5,000 rows of data, maybe up to 10,000 rows of data, they will get insights into that data that they've never seen before. So you don't need much to get going. What you'll find is a lot of the time companies have the data, but they just don't have it organized. But that said, a lot of the applications they'll use in their day-to-day business, be it CRM, be it Sage, be it Snowflake if they're using that as a data warehouse, or Microsoft Fabric, or Google BigQuery, they'll have the data organized in such a way that it's very digestible for machine learning models. And we've gone one step further in that when the data comes in, if there are any columns of data that are not fit for a model, our models automatically exclude them. So they'll say, the name of a person isn't going to determine, the name of something or the gender, it's not going to determine an outcome, so they'll take it out.
So what level of traction has Graphite-Note achieved both here in Ireland and in the international markets, Vinnie?
Yeah, so Karl, we're a startup ultimately. So we're going kind of 3.5 years. We spent the first couple of years building, and we launched early 2023. So at the end of last year, there was still only 3 people in the company, but we had been able to generate customers across 6 countries and 4 continents at that stage. So still quite small at that point. But the key is they were coming to us from Google organic search. So they were searching no-code machine learning. They were searching predictive analytics. And these were the terms that brought people to us. So that gave us the confidence to go out and do a fundraise in order to be able to build a team and build a business around that. It's all inside sales driven. So we very rarely ever meet our customers, only on Zoom or on a phone call. And they tend to buy from us completely remotely. Probably as well because of the nature of the business model where they can subscribe on a month-by-month basis. So they don't need to commit to a 12-month contract. They can actually say, look, I'm going to try this out for 3 or 4 months and see how it goes. And we found that quite useful because then when people aren't tied into something long-term, they're more inquisitive and more interested in seeing if they can make it work a lot of the time. They don't feel that it's a noose around their neck that's really restricting their ability to use their budgets elsewhere.
And on the topic of fundraising, the business recently secured €1.2 million in seed funding. So how will this investment be used to help the business to realise its growth potential?
Yeah, so about 70 to 80% of that is going to be used in sales and marketing. We have, in technology products, particularly software as a service, you can never really be truly finished in building a product because there's always going to be bugs and there's going to be new developments that are going to come up, and customers are going to come up with suggestions that make sense to everyone that you serve. So you will go and develop for your customers. So 20% for product development and really 70 to 80% for sales and marketing. So that's a good thing for us, I guess, because we feel that we're not using the funds to continue to build the product. We're using 70-80% of the funds to grow the customer base from the product we've already built.
So what are Graphite-Note's growth goals for the next 12 months?
In terms of partners, we have been signing up with business intelligence agencies around the world in the last couple of months, and we'll continue to do so. And we've a target ourselves to sign up, 30 plus business intelligence agencies by the end of the year. And each of these agencies have their own customers and end customers that they will then serve using our product. And in some instances, that's a new revenue stream for those agencies. So we're giving them access to a new revenue stream. So that's really important to us. Really, we want to continue to grow. We have customers in the US, we have customers in Asia that came to us inbound. UK is an area of focus for us. US is an area of focus for us. And really, it's about getting the team together now more so than anything else and executing on the promise that we've seen and just doubling down on it. And as you said, a few minutes ago, there are so many tools out there that people are looking at engaging with. You want to make sure that you find your niche, that you double down on your niche. And there's an old saying, the riches are in the niches. And that's very much important in a world where there are so many tools available and so many alternative ways to spend budget. So yeah, we're very focused on that, narrowing in on the value that we've had and growing out, particularly into the UK and the US.
And how will AI itself support your own product development roadmap?
We do leverage AI. I'll give you an example. Probably the most obvious one is we built on a layer at the end of the last year that we call prescriptive analytics. And what prescriptive analytics is if you picture a scenario before Graphite-Note, you have ChatGPT, and you ask ChatGPT, you say, I'm in the telecoms business. We're losing about 20% of our customers every year because of no loyalty. They move from the various providers. How can I help reduce that loss of customers? So you will get back maybe good, what I call pillar points to say you should consider doing the following, maybe offer discounts, maybe incentivizing to loyalty programs, etc., etc. So that's still what I call a specific question, but an answer that's come from ChatGPT trawling the market. What we provide the ability to do is to say, okay, I'm a telecoms business, and this is the insight as to what's driving customers leaving us. Because they actually we know the factors. We can tell you the top 10 factors why they're leaving us. Based on that tailored insight on our data as a telecoms business, now ChatGPT, can you tell us what we should be doing with that tailored data to give us some really tailored guidance as to the steps we should take in order to reduce customer churn. And you're going to get a lot more narrow, specific, tailored, really unique to you type recommendations back. So that's something that our customers were asking us, would we do for them, rather than them taking our insights and producing themselves that kind of analysis, leveraging tools like ChatGPT. They wanted the option to be able to click a button in Graphite-Note and get that feedback from large learning models.
That's very interesting. And Vinnie, of course, Graphite-Note is also a client of Enterprise Ireland. How have they supported you to date?
Yeah, Enterprise Ireland, I think at times we don't realise in Ireland how lucky we are. And I'm not just saying that, I've worked in the UK, the US, Canada, and it just, the equivalent doesn't exist. That's the first thing. I'd say, firstly, they really help you with your messaging because it's very, very hard to become a high potential startup. They only take, bring in so many every year. So they really help you understand or make you communicate better and target better who you're going after, because they've incredible, amount of experience doing that. So we became a HPSU member this year. They've participated in the funding round. And then there are other supports that we will look to access over the next kind of 12, 18 months. One will be around market entry. So there's a market entry grant which we will look to apply for, which will really help you when you're going into foreign markets. That's one. But their international office network of 50 offices is critical. We were in Austin, Texas last month at SaaStock USA. It's a very large software show. Enterprise Ireland have an office in Austin, Texas, and their team there were really, really helpful in terms of before the event and during, and now even after the event. We had another call last week helping us, to identify leads, and even going a step further and helping making those introductions for us. And so having that additional sales force in essentially 50 offices around the world is incredibly beneficial, because when someone knocks on the door and says, we're from the Irish Sovereign Wealth Fund, and we've invested in Graphite-Note, a very hot AI and machine learning business that's coming out of Ireland. We'd love to get them in front of you for a chat. They're going to listen to them much, much quicker than they will some guys ringing up from Ireland from a startup asking, will they meet them? So I think that's hugely beneficial. And I'll add one other layer, or we have a really good development advisor, and that is someone who really has our growth in mind, because if we grow, it's good for jobs, it's good for EI. So they kind of come with a really objective, experience from working with different companies, and can really help you focus on the growth points that matter. So it's a really good sounding board, because anyone in startups will tell you, when you're in the trenches, it's hard, and it's often hard to see the wood from the trees. And having someone qualified who's on your side but not afraid to critique you and challenge you is very beneficial.
And Vinnie, finally, on a more general topic, Graphite-Note grew from the RDI hub. How important is the regional tech scene here in Ireland to the overall development of the sector?
It's really important. I think, we all know that there's probably been an over-index towards Dublin, and that's natural. That happens in every country. The capital usually gains from that movement and that, I guess, consolidation of resources, be it funding, people, etc. I think what the innovation hubs around the country now, as part of the NDRC network, what they've been able to do is essentially bring that Dublin-like experience to a Kerry or a Cork or a Galway, or where the network is. And that, for us, has been really critical, because it gets you access to resources, it gets good people in the room, where you're able to challenge each other as peers. And in our case, they've been very, very helpful and beneficial to us, just in terms of positioning us, giving us support. Even on the PR side, you can piggyback off PR pieces, which are very, very important, because right now as a startup, you're really trying to get your brand recognised. So I think overall, I would use the word amplification. It really helps to amplify you. And the second thing is that when you're trying to attract talent, it really does help, because the talent likes to go and work somewhere nice if they're working remote, or if they're working, I should say, in a hybrid model, where they're in the office a few days a week or working remotely. So it complements that whole quality of life thing as well. And we've one person just moved recently from Dublin. We've hired another person locally in the Clordain area, actually, an experienced tech person. So it's been really, really beneficial, and we hope to have a very long marriage with the RDI hub.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Vinnie Lynch from Graphite-Note, and I'd like to wish Vinnie and the team every continued success with growing their business.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.